Okay, we are here with our next strangers. Would you be able to tell us your names and a little about yourself?
Go ahead. Okay, well,
That's okay. Yeah, don't be nervous. It's okay.
my name's Katrina, and I'm 17, and we just recently graduated high school, so we're going to college because our school system is very different than from the rest of the world, right? So we graduate high school at 17, and then we go to college, which we call CJEP, and then we go to university.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, I had no idea okay, so that's Katrina, and then
And then my name is Emily. I'm also 17. I also graduated from high school. And the program that I'm going into for college is nursing. I've always wanted to become a nurse. And yeah.
those chopsticks. It's like we'll have to introduce the chopsticks next.
The start of my language. um, I don't know. These are my little fidget toys. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So,
Can they go down?
so can you talk a little bit more, Katrina, about like the education system and that thing that's between high school and college or university?
So we have this thing called CJEP, which can be 2 or 3 years. Usually the 3-year programs are
Like medical stuff, like I'm going to nursing.
will
So
end up in like internships at hospitals or wherever, whatever the program is.
Hmm.
This basically just like prepares us for university in a way. Um, but a lot of people find it very like useless. But
I think it's I don't know. I think it's more useful so you can find what career you want to do when you get older.
yeah,
Because it really, I find there's so many options.
it's like a pre-university
Yeah.
program kind of thing.
Yeah, it seems like, I mean, the idea of kind of doing like an internship for 2 or 3 years, like you get to choose kind of like your first choice of interest, right? You get to do it before you go to university, and then you have an idea of whether or not it's actually what you want to do.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
a lot of people discover what they want to be in these 2 years instead of, well, I don't know, in the States, I don't know the schooling, but people are put into college and they major in whatever it is and get their degree. But
Right.
CJEB gives us a time to think of what we want to do before
Yeah.
we actually do it.
That's smart.
Does
It's
that make
like,
sense?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like what's the rush? Like
Right.
why?
And it's also not, it's not very expensive either. It's
I mean, if you live in Quebec, it's not expensive, but if you're like someone coming from the States or like from mostly exchange students, whatever, it's a little bit more expensive.
But yeah,
But
they're all
it's so-
public. They're not private schools. Because I know the States it's very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really bad. Yeah, it's awful. It's like if you want to go to like a public university in the school in the state that you're in, it's like $20,000. And if you want to go to like some of the high end private schools that don't give scholarships, are like $65,000 a year,
My God. That's yeah. Us
which
it's
is
I think under 2 grand.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's the same
Well,
education.
no, there's
like,
private colleges, but
you're
those are
still they're still teaching the same thing. It's like
it's under 10 grand. Like
oh
it's
my God. So
Yeah.
what do you guys think of the US? Like what is your honest to God opinion? Like don't hold anything back. You guys can swear if you want to.
oh wow.
I don't agree with your president.
But he's such a nice guy. But he's such a nice guy.
See, I don't know. I don't know anything about him, but his mentalities and the things that he's trying to do to your country, I don't necessarily agree with.
Me
But
neither.
I mean, I'm not saying our prime minister is perfect, but it's just you hear a lot more like terrible things going on in the States than you'll hear in Canada.
That's true.
Like the whole protest things that went on. I mean, we had it in Canada too, but it didn't seem to be as bad as in the States. And I don't know, like I don't agree with Alabama's no abortion like law. I that surprised me. I didn't think that they would actually, go through, but that's just me. And
What is what is this like? What are the things that Canada does really well, you think? In terms of, I mean, there's so many different things that you could.
that Canada handled this virus pretty well because
Much better than the States, for sure.
We had so little cases compared to the rest of the world. Like we had provinces that didn't have a single case.
Yeah.
Like I think we were prepared and we were pretty good about it.
And they were like, they try to set up more, like more places where you can go get tested. So it may seem that we have like more cases in Quebec, but it's just because everyone's going to get tested. Like it doesn't mean necessarily that they're confirmed, but they're at least getting tested. So I think that's great that they have that. And also like when we went into quarantine, like a lot of people lost their jobs. So at least Canada, they had a whole bunch of things that they can pay us, and like
they gave us
money.
It's called the CERB. So they would give us, if we qualified, they would. I don't know if the States is doing that, but our government is helping us and giving us money
and stuff, like even for students too, like going into college and university.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous.
Oh, did we also mention free healthcare?
Yeah, that's true. Free healthcare.
Oh yeah. My God, I know. I'm I usually don't talk about it on the channel, like who I'm for, but I mean, like, I think Bernie Sanders is just such an obvious choice for who a great leader would be for a country. I mean, he's old. He's an old guy, but I mean, he's been just so consistent on the issues. I myself am not a fan of Trump in any respect. I think if anything, like I don't know if you guys know anything about the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the TPP trade deal. I was for him ripping that up. That's the only good thing that he's ever done. But everything else, like immigration, lowering taxes on corporations and the rich, I mean, like just basically like sowing hatred in our country. It's one of the reasons that I'm doing this channel, is basically, what he's kind of doing to everyone. And, with at least with like education in your country, like with graduating high school and stuff, do you guys have standardized tests that you need to take?
So the way that it works is starting in is it the first or second grade? We take ministry. They call them ministry exams. So the grades go to our education, like, or what do you call it? It's called a ministry. Okay. So like I forget his name. He's like in charge of school, all the school boards. Anyways, so every 2 years we do these big tests that go out to like our government, and then in grade, because we say Sec 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in high school, and
that's like grade
freshman.
Oh.
So like we don't really say grade 7 or whatever. We just say Sec 1, Sec 2, Sec 3.
It's like secondary 1.
I see. That makes sense.
So in secondary 4, which is grade 10, we do this big ministry exam that determines if we get into college or not. Like the college look at those grades. Yeah. And
was that stressful?
Very. They say that year
is the most important.
So like junior year for you guys is the most stressful and most important year of high school.
Yeah.
So Emily, what was your experience with all of that?
My experience, oh my gosh, I'm someone who has a lot of anxiety and stuff. So I luckily had my friends and like teachers that were there to help me. So like I had to like study like twice as hard as anyone else in like my class or anything. And like luckily I knew what I wanted to go in, but like nursing, like there's a lot of, I have to like have high grades enough to get into like next year for like chemistry and like keep up with my math and everything. So it was just very stressful. And nursing, like they don't accept a lot of students in like the school I want to. So I have to like try and aim for the highest grade so that I get the first pick.
That's like so stressful. Why do they do that to like people who are like 14, 15 years old?
Exactly. And like you don't even like I remember like at like I know some people at like in the secondary 4 or grade 10.
Grade 10, yeah.
Like I just asked them, like I don't know what I want to do. So it's like you don't it's like hard to figure out what you want to do, and then I don't know, it's just hard to figure out what
If you don't know what you want to do in high school and go into college, just getting into a program and you're going to be there for longer. You're going to switch into a new one. A lot of people are there for maybe 4 years instead of 2 because they started one, they didn't like it. They went to a new one, they didn't like it. They went to a new one. Yeah. But if you know what you want to do, you don't care how long it takes.
Now, you guys were saying that the Black Lives Matter movement protests weren't really as intense there in Canada, at least in Montreal, where you guys are. Oh,
there were protests. There were hundreds of people.
Like a lot of people.
The worst that we got was people started breaking into doors, smashing.
Like taking it. I just found that wasn't. It
was taken too far.
Yeah.
But we were talking on Omegle. We were talking to people in the States, and they were burning down buildings, burning down
Target,
like fighting each other. Like we didn't have it that bad.
It was
I want to say, but
do you guys live in a pretty diverse community?
I would say
think
so.
And I think
there's
also,
not very. I don't find there's very much racism where we
not
are.
as much.
Like, there's no. You don't hear of many hate crimes.
Yeah.
Here.
Like, and I feel like also like from like the high school that we went to, like I think we were the only high school in like at least in our city that was super diverse. Like we had people, exchange students that would come in, and like it was almost like our grade. We were almost like a family, and it was just like it was super like I don't know. I really
it was very. We were taking in exchange students from China and Germany and Italy and Saudi Arabia. I think. Like from everywhere.
Yeah, Canada has a very open immigration policy that's like really empathetic, like very welcoming.
Trudeau he allows the immigrants to come and stay in our country, which is fine. I have no issue with that.
Yeah.
There's
everyone.
The whole world is perfect.
Yeah. Now, what do you guys remember? I guess a few years ago when the Me Too movement and Time's Up movement were kind of gaining momentum. Was that prominent for you guys? Like, and have and you, I'm sure as women have been catcalled countless times and stuff. And for you, like, what do you think needs to happen? Do you think Canada does a good job of women's rights? And what do you think else needs to happen to help improve women's rights? I'd also like to hear Emily's opinion too whenever you get a chance to. I mean, no. It's important to. No, I'm enjoying hearing from you, Katrina. I just would like to kind of keep it balanced.
Well, I think that I feel like Canada has like done like pretty good. Maybe not enough, but like we've done pretty good so far. Yeah. I don't know, like
the Me Too movement was very prominent. It was talked about in school.
Yeah,
we learned about it in school. We were given tickets. 2 people were chosen to go to the
stage or the event
that was taking place. Like we were like integrated into the movement. We were taught. We were educated, made aware of what was going on. Because it was a very important like issue.
Yeah. That's in the United States, like it seems like no one that I have talked to has like had the Black Lives Matter movement incorporated into their curriculum or into their school at all. Like Me Too, like women's rights. Nah, that doesn't like. Let's just teach like boring history that and from textbooks that isn't super relevant to like our day and age. And I think people are just getting really tired of that. So it's cool to hear that like in school they incorporated that into.
Yeah, like I remember like in grade 5, like in elementary school too, like they would right away start with teaching what racism was, what like I think we did this one huge project on like Nelson Mandela, and just a whole bunch like just being aware of
we had
that.
Black History Month.
Yeah.
So they would give my project, I don't know about Emily, but my project was like that too. I think I picked Denzel Washington or something, and I had to, show like what he did in his career and how Black people, it doesn't matter what color skin you are, he donated millions to charities and stuff. Yeah. And we would learn about I learned we would learn about
guest star.
Yes.
Cameo.
We would just talk about like historical Black figures, like Rosa Parks.
Yes.
They would just let us know about things that the Black movements that have gone out through history and how it's impacted the world.
Are there any Black kind of idols or Black, I guess, like people like Rosa Parks, like role models in Canada?
I mean, we know there are Canadian like pop stars from Canada, like Drake.
Drake. Yeah.
I don't know. Like they don't really.
I know of.
Yeah, me too.
They don't really talk about our Black idols in our day and age. It's more the ones from the past. Yeah. But it's still educational and helpful, I find. Anyways.
Yeah, that's. Are there any other things that you think like people watching would be interested in kind of knowing about? Oh, well, I guess for you guys like catcalling and like sexual harassment is like very common, right? Like, could you kind of talk about that experience for the men watching? Like, what is it like to be a woman, and what is it like? How is it different, you think, from being a man? Like, what do you think men don't really know about as just?
I think it's from what people like men don't understand. It's like, or maybe they do. I don't know, but it's just it stays with you. It stays in your head, and you can't let go of it, no matter like how much therapy you go through or who you talk to or whatever. It'll always be in your head, and you'll become more like it. Like it breaks your confidence and like in a girl. So like, and then all the insecurities kind of like I have like a lot of insecurities and stuff like that. So like, and it really breaks my confidence a lot when guys just go ahead and catcall and stuff like that.
It's scary.
It is.
It makes you feel as if you are an object to someone. Like you're like they look at you as if, like I could say whatever I want to them. I don't need to respect them. But yet you don't know me and you're, telling me these things. Like it makes me feel like whenever I go out, I have to cover up everything or else someone's going to say something. Or I can never go anywhere by myself. I need someone by me or I need someone on the phone with me in case something happens, because I feel like you just live in constant fear, especially as a younger, like younger people, younger girls.
Yeah.
Because
I have like a friend, her like younger sister, she's 13, and she gets catcalled a lot, and she never leaves the house now. Like she doesn't like going outside as much, and it could really break someone. It's really um, degrading, I guess.
Yeah,
Degrading.
it is
Mm.
degrading.
It's so
Yeah, demoralizing. Yeah.
It just makes you feel so little
yeah.
and so like unimportant to the world
Yeah.
because people will disrespect you and get away with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So could you give an example of what you think would be like an appropriate way to compliment a woman, and then give like a also give an example of one that's like on the edge, like don't
Just
do
to,
that,
like, the
but
bar type thing.
yeah, but just like a subtle one, just so maybe people can understand like how if they want to compliment, like how to.
Well, in my opinion, if you want to respect me and compliment me, you could come up to me and say, "Hey, I think you're really pretty." And then if you want my number, ask me, I'll say yes, I'll say no. But if you just like see me across the street and you're like, "Hey there, nice tits or nice ass,"
Like, yeah, that's just no.
I can't don't I don't want to hear that from you. Or like
Yeah.
Do people do that? Do people say like nice tits?
yeah,
Yeah.
you'll be
Unbelievable. That kills
people
me.
drive by in cars
Yeah.
and like yell out at you and be like, like
Like, hey, sexy, what's up?
something like that.
No woman wants
And
to hear
half the
that.
time it's young men who are all in a group
Oh my
and
gosh,
then
Yeah.
one
Trying to
has
like dick
cigarette
measure,
in his hand,
exactly. Yeah.
and the other has a beer in his hand and they're like, hey, and you're like, no.
yeah.
A lot, well, me, um my safe thing is like, I have a boyfriend.
That's
I
true.
say that every time because some will leave you alone, some will say I don't care, but half the time it works. Like, it sounds really stupid,
I don't
but
think it's wrong. I think
if you say like I have a boyfriend, or because if you say I'm not interested, I tried that and the person was like, well, you think I'm ugly? Like,
yeah,
it's like, no, you're creeping me out.
yeah.
Like, I had a situation like last week. I was sitting in the mall and the guy looked up, he goes, I'm single, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. Why are you, like, what are you implying? I don't, and he was in his 40s at least. And I just,
Yeah. I think also, like, I find, because I work out. So like whenever I would go on jogs or whatever, it's hot outside sometimes. So I don't really feel like wearing a like t-shirt and like shorts. I want, like, sometimes I will have my confident moments and like I just want to go in a sports bra and like my shorts and just go for a nice jog and get some stuff off my mind. But then when you have like guys who are like, "Hey, you're hey sexy, like what's up?" And I'm just like, well, now I can't go out now and be comfortable, and like if guys can go out shirtless, why can't we like go in at least in the sports bra, or something like that? Like it's just
Yeah, without getting harassed. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
we get a lot of, also, I find if you show like cleavage, like women, we have all our chests are A to Z sizes. Like, it's, some people can't cover, or, it's, if you show cleavage, you're automatically like a whore or a slut, or you're trying to get someone's attention just by showing.
Like you're asking for it.
But it's like, we dress for ourselves. We dress to be confident. So if you're making me feel bad, then I don't feel confident in what I'm wearing anymore.
Yeah.
And it just makes me feel like worse.
Yeah. And then I don't feel like going out anymore and just like staying at home. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that stuff sucks. I mean, I could only imagine. I can't
Men
imagine.
don't get it. They really don't get it.
I think it must stem from like this insecurity, like they just don't know how to approach people, and they're like, well, I'll just give it a chance, and then they say stupid shit. And I think what happens is like men tend to just like think about women as objects, like, oh, I want them, I want a girl, I want a girl, you know,
Yeah.
like it's like I want a TV, and then
Or
they just go and
it's
what
like
is
a
it?
game to them.
Say that
It's
again?
like to them.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then they, but honestly, I I really don't understand. I think it's also a dominance thing, right? Like you were saying. So, but I guess one more thing before we get going is I'm actually interested in like Emily, for you, like as an Asian woman,
Yeah.
do you identify as a woman of color, and like do like what is your kind of Asian heritage like, or your ethnicity, in terms of like this whole kind of intersectionality era? Like, where what does it play in
Well,
your life?
so I mean, I'm mostly Asian. I'm 3/4 Asian and 1/4 Canadian. So I would consider myself, I guess, mostly Asian. So, um, uh, well, like, sorry, what was like?
There's
Yeah.
still
Well,
racism.
There is
yeah,
for
right.
sure. Like I've
Yeah.
gone racist comments like, oh, do you eat rice every night? Do you only eat with chopsticks? Like, I'm sorry,
Wait,
like
were those chopsticks? Were those chopsticks? No, 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 no.
I'm not the one holding the chopsticks.
I know, I know. That's good.
Yeah, but
Um, I've heard people tell her like that she's yellow too.
yeah,
Like,
Like,
wait, like in what way?
oh,
yeah.
like, um,
But also, like, I not okay. People need to stop thinking that Asians are Chinese. Like, there is a variety of different like types of like Asian people. You have your Koreans, you have your Japanese, Vietnamese, Taiwanese. Like, there's just a whole variety, not just Chinese. I know that maybe most of the population might be Chinese, but people just can't just assume right away that an Asian person is Chinese. And it's just very frustrating because I've had it with teachers as well, who would, like, we would have exchange students. And then automatically, like, I would have a teacher be like, oh, can you talk to her? Because she doesn't understand. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not Chinese. I'm Vietnamese, I'm Japanese. I do not speak their language. Like, I was the only other Asian student, so she came to me, and I just like, I don't know, I just found that kind of offensive at that time. So.
like teachers are supposed to be our mentors.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
They're
isn't that crazy? Like, it's crazy that like these teachers aren't like, if we want to be like access our deepest potentials, which I think everyone is trying to do and everyone wants. Like, why aren't we prioritizing teachers as like getting PhDs before teaching? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, and just being like, I don't know, like getting like like a social intelligence test done
You
or
have
something.
the occasional teacher who you can connect with and who understands teenagers
Yeah.
and who will like see your potential and help you like, come out of your bubble and do
Really.
what you want to do. But there's some teachers who really don't. I'm not being
kind of-
stereotypical, but most of them are like the older teachers who've
Yeah.
been teaching for years, like
And they're
decades,
Yeah.
and
They're kind of traditional.
social
and, like,
media
kind of-
evolved,
yeah.
all these kinds of things, and they don't understand it. So if we go to them with our problems, like they're like, get over it. Like, why are you?
Deal with it yourself. You're on your own.
Or if you don't understand something, I just taught you. Like, figure it out.
Yeah.
Mm.
It
Yeah, it's like the opposite of what you need. That is the opposite of support, you know.
But in our generation teachers, I find them.
Yeah.
It's like what they're being taught in university is more like you're better. They're better at socializing with us
Yeah.
and talking to us.
Like, we had like one teacher who would go above and beyond, like, for us to succeed in life. Like, he's such an amazing teacher, and like he was really there for our class, and like because he taught chemistry, and it can be a hard
Okay,
topic.
understand that.
But he would also, like, some of us would struggle in math or like other subjects, like math or science related, and he would go out of his way. I can stay after school if you really need the help. I can do this. I can come in the morning. I can stay at lunch. Like he was amazing teacher, and yeah.
But also, our city has which best university in the world?
Is it? I don't know. I
think we're like the top 10 universities in the world.
Yeah.
So we get teachers who come from this school, and they're very smart, and they know what they're doing. And some will be your therapist.
Yeah, for sure.
They'll talk to you, and because teenagers go through a lot in their lives. Some people don't know that. Some people don't understand that.
Well, I think we're living in a culture where like people don't listen. The culture and society and parents, teachers really just they don't listen to kids. They don't listen to people, that are under 18. And the thing is like there's such a difference between being 18 or being 17 and being 13. And to say that like 17-year-olds can't vote, or even some 15 or 14-year-olds can't vote, is kind of crazy, because there are a lot of, I've been talking to a few 14-year-olds who are some of the most articulate people I've met, and I've been to a lot of great schools. So
actually, this year they made a voting kind of day for us. It wasn't. It went to.
It wasn't official, but it was just like to prepare us for.
They sent it to the government. They weren't,
going to take those votes in, but they wanted to see how we would react.
The government wanted to see what the kids think, what their opinion.
And I think that's something that everywhere else in the world should do. Kind of like, listen to communication between everyone.
Yes,
we're taught about the government.
Yeah,
because we have how many, like 5 parties that we can vote for, and everyone has a different leader.
Yeah,
and it's every I don't know. Prime ministers can go on for as long as they want. They don't have I don't think they have a limit to how long they can.
It's if you get voted.
But they tell us about past politicians, about in history class, we learn about all of these things that, it helps us when we have to grow up and vote for the Liberal Party or the federal party. It's educational. But a lot of people don't even like going to school. I find.
Now, were you guys bullied when you were younger? Like, what was that? Was that a thing for you guys?
For me, it was.
For me, yeah. I've gotten a lot of racist comments or whatever when I was kind of throughout high school. Bullied by girls, yes.
Wow.
Mostly girls, not
really.
But
what is that? How is that different from kind of the stereotypical kind of like shoving into a locker?
That's the thing. I saw that on TV, and when I got into high school, I asked the vice principal showed me around, and I asked her, do people shove each other in lockers and hit each other?
Too.
I genuinely thought it was a thing. I was scared, and she's like, no.
At least there was no violence like that, but words do hurt too, so just as much as violence. So
girls are very mean.
Very mean.
Girls can be very disrespectful towards each other. Like guys fight each other, and they do it physically, but girls, it's words, and it's all mental, and it really gets to you. It really does, and it hurts.
Do you have like a specific story you could share? Not using any names or anything, but like circumstances.
No, sure. I've been fat shamed.
Are you kidding me?
I know. I don't understand what was going on in this girl's head, but this was in school, and we'd have volleyball practice in the morning, and I wouldn't have time to eat breakfast, so I would usually have snacks or whatever later throughout first period or whatever. So after volleyball practice, I went straight to my English class, and yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Okay, so and then after that, I had 2 granola bars. So they were it wasn't, a chocolate bar or something. It was still kind of healthy. I would have one, and then I had the second one. As I was opening the wrapper, the girl next to me looks at me and she goes, "Another one? Really? Like another one?" And I'm like,
Fuck you.
"Oh, like fuck you. Like look at you." Like she would go to the bathroom, but she would go to the vending machine. She would come back with chips and all. Like I'm not saying like she's fat either, but like she's, like it's
Well,
just
what's interesting is like when someone, like says something like that to you, you want to kind of fight fire with fire more.
yeah,
That's why we live in the culture we live in, is because it's just so much easier to react and be like, "Hey, you're fucking fat." Like it's much easier to do that. And like
yeah.
it's just it just by doing stuff like that, it makes it harder to make a world that we all really kind of want to make. um it takes patience, I
People
think.
say things and they don't realize that it hurts.
It hurts.
Like she says was fat shamed. I was skinny shamed.
yeah.
People would tell me, "You're so skinny. Why are you so skinny? Why
Like,
don't
do you
you
not
eat
eat?"
something?"
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that someone called me anorexic. Someone told me I was anorexic. And I don't know I don't know anyone who has been anorexic, but you can't just go out throwing names of disorders.
Yeah. You're
'Cause
not a
you- 'cause
doctor
I look
or
like-
anything.
Like
Mm.
you're basically telling me that I starve myself and I don't eat. It's
People must just be so in their own head. They just don't know, they just don't realize that they are affecting other people's feelings, like. And I
Like,
don't.
sorry, even to this day, like I would, put on like a tank top or whatever, and like I all the time when I'm on FaceTime with her, I'm changing, and I'm like, oh my god, it looks so bad, or like, like I'm still insecure because from those comments, it sticks with us. That's the thing. Anything like any words or whatever comments, it sticks with us, and it will never leave our like it'll even though we say that we're fine and we'll move past it, it'll always be with us.
In the back of your head, yeah.
because
Exactly.
some people think like they say it as a joke.
Yeah.
But if you're saying it as a joke, what you're saying, you mean it. Because if you didn't mean it, why would you like say it joke or not? It still went through your head, and you still thought that about whoever it is.
Mm.
Like for teenage girls, being slut shamed is very common too.
Yeah.
Like if let's say this girl was dating this guy and this one came and said hi to him and asked him for the homework. Oh, she's gonna steal my boyfriend. She's a slut.
Yeah.
That just shows the deep insecurity that those people have. I mean,
I have looked up. If someone called me that, I have looked it up in the dictionary. This is the meaning of a slut. Tell me that I am this, because I'm not. Because there's a meaning to it. I mean, I don't think anyone should be slut shamed.
Yeah,
No.
there's like I feel like that in my opinion, in our opinion, like we've talked about before, like between each other and another close friend of ours, like there's no really such thing as like slut shaming, and like really like you want to sleep with this person, that's fine. That's your choice. That like no one should stop you from doing that. Like it's your like I said, it's your choice, and there's nothing wrong with that,
Like our friend, she's not here right now, but she says she's like YOLO.
YOLO.
Like, we only have one life,
Live it,
so just live it the way you want. But if you're living it through fear and insecurity,
then why are you like
Yeah.
or racism, if you've been people are racist towards you, or they don't like you because you did something and they hold a grudge against you for the rest of your life, it makes you feel horrible. It makes you feel, especially when, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, before this has been great. This has been so, yeah, I mean, yeah, you guys have, you are the first female duo that I've talked to, and it's like really, like you guys work off of each other so well, and yeah, it's just really cool. And thank you for kind of sharing your stories about it. And before we get going, would you, do you have anything else that you think the audience uh, should know that you haven't talked about yet? Any things that you guys care deeply about that you'd want to kind of mention last here?
Hmm. I mean, I feel like there's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
there is a lot.
um, honestly, just
YOLO. YOLO. I don't know. I don't like educate yourselves. Like really, like if before you say something and like you're not sure, please like educate yourself and like I don't know, like because I just feel like especially with like Black Lives and like the protests now, people are not educating themselves and they're saying whatever they want, whatever comes to mind, but they're not educated. So like really like educate yourself and like
or before you judge someone,
Yeah.
get to know them.
seriously.
Like because I'm blonde, it doesn't mean I'm an airhead.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Just because I'm Asian doesn't mean I eat rice every night or,
Oh, God.
all the time or whatever. Or I'm amazing at math. There
Or,
you go.
yeah. People have been
Oh.
like, what
Oh,
kind of
do my homework. You're really good at math. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not fantastic at that. So,
Well,
yeah.
well, thank you guys. Yeah, this was great. And so if you want to send me a picture of yourselves for the thumbnail of the video, you can send an email here. Um,
Okay, cool.
and or if not, I mean, I can just take a screenshot of you guys on the video. But I mean, pictures tend to be better. And um, yeah, cool.
Perfect.
Thank you guys. Yeah, and make sure to subscribe. And also, if you guys think that of any other friends that you think may be interested, I would love to have them on and talk to them about their experience too.
Okay.
Yeah. Or if
Bye.
not, that's fine too. All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Very cool.